Alright guys, what do I got next? Well, I've got a Chevy S15, or I'm sorry, GMC S15 pickup truck. I don't know, like a 2000, 2001, something like that. And it got towed in for a no start. So I get to it and I get nothing when I turn the key. It powers up the vehicle, but it won't start, it won't crank. Okay, so I go out underneath the hood. Let me show you something. Now I get to the fuse box, and here is the starter relay. Okay, sits right there. So I am inside the thing, and I hit the key and go to crank, and I don't hear anything. Usually I can hear a relay clicking. Doesn't mean anything, doesn't mean it's not clicking, it's just I can't physically hear it from inside the car or by the window. So I pull the relay out, and I decide to jump. If you look here, it actually gives you a diagram. I decided to jump 87 to 30. Now 87 to 30 is that terminal there to that terminal here. No matter how you flip this, it doesn't matter. 87 and 30 are going to line up to those two. So I jump those two and it starts cranking. Okay, so I know the circuit's good from this point down. All right, so I check and I have power on the power supply right there. Okay, which I should. I turn the key, I got nothing going there. All right, so that's the trigger. So it goes through this inner 10 amp fuse right there, the one closest to the relay. Now when I hold it to crank, I get power there going through the fuse. So it tells me, okay, up to that point it's okay. Now after the fuse, it runs down to the neutral safety switch. Okay. Possible neutral safety switch. I go inside and I try shifting, park, neutral, you know, the whole bit. I'm ramming the thing up, back, down, everything else, trying to get it to do something. Nothing. No click, no nothing. All right. So, like I said, I know the circuit's good from the relay down to the starter. All right. And it turns out this guy does some of his own work. And I look, and sure enough, it's got a brand new starter in it because, you know, it doesn't want to start. Of course, it's got to be a bad starter, right? Just listen to the text at AutoZone. They'll tell you, oh, it's not starting. It needs a starter. Yeah, no. So anyway, I go down to the neutral safety switch. So it's got a purple wire and a purple and white wire. Purple wire in, purple and white out. Purple and white comes out and goes up to the fuse block here to trip the relay. Okay, let me show you what I found. Actually, not a bad looking truck, real quick. You know, it does need a little help. Now, I want you to pay attention to something. Look at that front wheel on that side. Look at the front wheel on that side. Towed in a little bit? Yeah. Turns out he did his own tie rod ends. Just rolling it through the parking lot, I could tell it was out of whack. So let me go up in the air. Oh, and there you go. Brand new starter that it didn't need, more than likely. All right, so I go underneath the truck. All right, it's got some stuff wrong with it. It's what I expect for, you know, what, a 30-year-old vehicle here. So you got some fluid leak. Okay, no big deal. I'm not concerned about that right now. So I come over here and I look at the connections. And if you look close, you see the connections hanging out a little bit. All right, well, really shouldn't be like that, but I don't think that's creating the problem. And these are those idiotic connections where GM actually used hot glue and glued them together. Yeah, great idea, GM, great idea. It was so good they stopped doing it after several years. I can't remember how long they did it for. They did it for like 10 or 15 years, but man, what a pain in the neck that creates. But what I did notice is this. Yeah, I think that's your starting problem right there. The wiring harness is rubbing through on the drive shaft. So I'm gonna have to get that disconnected up there. You gotta do it with heat. I'm gonna use a heat gun, get that disconnected so I can get the harness down. And then this way I can open it up and repair all the wires in there. Plus then I gotta route the harness in the right direction. And I mean this too, I mean, come on. You know, this is just ridiculous. There we go too. There's more wires rubbed through that I'm gonna have to fix. But let's get to it. I don't even know what the hell that is. It's for an underglow maybe? Alright, well let me fix this. Alright, so I'm back at it this morning with this S15 here. Let me show you what I did so far. Alright, so I took the dry shaft out of the front, and I did notice that the dry shaft was only about halfway on. It never went fully on. So that was really nice. I could actually ruin the transfer case. So I got the connectors off, and if you look, remember I told you about these? They actually use hot glue to put these things together. And you got to heat these connectors up. I use this right here. This little butane soldering iron with the heat gun tip. I use that. It works actually very well to do it. And you got to get them pretty hot in order to get them out of there. And then when you're going back together, guess what? You got to heat both sides up to get them back together and seated correctly. So now I get to take this apart, fix this wiring, and fix this wiring over here. So let me get to that. I remember I've told you in the past about how I can't make continuous videos because of all the noise here. So there you hear all the noise in the background. It's constant here. People talking and carrying on and banging stuff. So yeah. That's what I go through every day. So that's why I can't do videos non-stop. Eventually I will, but right now I can't. So all right, let me continue and fix this wiring. All right, so I got it opened up, and if you look closely, see this wire here? This is actually the wire after the starter relay that comes down, goes through the neutral safety switch, and then comes back up, through the starter fuse, down to here, goes through the neutral safety switch, back up through the relay, and that triggers the relay, and the relay is what triggers the starter. So there's your reason for not starting right there. So now I got to fix a few of these wires in here. You know, like this. I'm not just going to wrap this with tape. I got to fix this because I actually was completely broken anyway. But I never do that. I never just wrap stuff with electrical tape. I always do a repair. So I got to fix this one, and I got to fix that one. So let's get going. So if you look, you'll see that I cut out the section that was all beat up. And now I'd have to add a section of wire to this. So what I'm going to actually do is cut these even shorter, because I don't want to have a really short section of wire like with a repair, a short section of wire and a repair. I'd rather have a longer section. It just makes for a cleaner repair. So what I'm going to do is, like I said, I'm going to cut these a little bit shorter than that. So this way I can add, you know, if I can add like another 2 inches of another wire, I'd rather do that. It just, to me, it's a cleaner, better repair. Because if you bulk up, you know, 2 repairs and only put in like a short 1-inch piece of wire, and you got to do 2 of them, you're going to have them in the same area. It just bulks up that end, and it could actually come in contact with something, because now you just increase the diameter of the whole entire loom. So that's another reason I don't like doing that, just mostly because it doesn't look neat. So okay, let me go ahead and do that. All right, so I found, it's a good thing we got our own junkyard here, because I scoured the cars there for wiring and stuff. So anyway, I found 2 wires that are close enough in color and stuff like that, but they are the right gauge. And if you look, see that I use non-insulated butt connectors and strip them down and then crimp them in place. Using regular butt connectors on something like this, I never do that, because you'd wind up with an open wire harness basically, and you can get water intrusion and everything else. But I do this, and then I put it together, and then I wind up using heat shrink on it. Now also, if you look, I stagger the cuts here and there. This way the wiring or the repair ends don't wind up butting up against each other. And the reason for that is, there again, it'll make for a thick connection, or a thick wire loom, and I don't want that. I want to keep it as narrow as possible when I wrap this thing up with tape. So now I'm going to strip these down, and like I said, it's the right gauge, close to the right color. See that? At least, you know, I'm not using like a white wire or a black wire or a completely different color wire. At least this way, you know, people, if they ever have to get in this thing to repair something, they'll see the same color wire or close to it. So yeah, so let me get this in there and get that done. Now another thing to note here too is I always put the crimp on the same side. I try to keep it as close as possible to being in the same position. As you can see, even with this. Reason being is just to me it looks neater. I don't know, just me being anal, I guess. So now let me put heat shrink on this, and when you use heat shrink on an exposed wire like this, like something that's outside, exposed to the elements, make sure you use the heat shrink that has glue in it. And the reason being is it will seal it up and you won't get water intrusion. Alright, so there we go. Those two are done together. See how nice that came out? You can just see the edge of that. You can just see a touch of the glue coming out that's in there. Basically, it's the same stuff as like a hot glue gun. So yeah, that's all in there. So now I'm gonna wire this up to that and then I'll wrap it up. So I'll get that done too. Okay, so that is the completed repair right there. You can see that's a pretty neat repair. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna wrap this up with tape, and then I'm gonna fix the other one, the other harness, this one here. I'm gonna fix that. I'm not gonna show you that whole thing, but like I said, for these, when I plug this in, you have to heat this up in order to stick it back into the neutral safety switch there. So let me get this all done, and then let's see if this vehicle starts. There we go. Everything's in place. The harness is done. It's fixed. I got a zip tied out of the way. Remember what I said, cut the tails off. Don't leave tails on there. And I got the harness nice and tucked, so we don't have to worry about it catching anything and rubbing through again. So let's see if it starts. Let's put the relay back in place first. That's for the starter. Now hopefully I didn't kill the battery yesterday when I was messing around with this thing. Let's see. Okay, I'm good with that. So that's a success as far as I'm concerned. Alright, I'm good with that. I'm happy. So I still got to put the bottom of the dash back together, so because I started checking stuff underneath there and I kind of went out of my way. I shouldn't have done that. But it is what it is. It only took me a couple minutes. Yeah, so that's about it. If you get anything out of my videos, hit the like button, please. If you could, please subscribe. That's it for now. Have a great day. Oh, tell your friends to subscribe, please. It'd really help me out. All right, that's it. Have a great day. Keep wrenching.